Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Teacher Lisa, your ESL video instructor. Today we are actually going to look at chapters 55 and 56 in the book English for Everyone. If you want to purchase your own copy and follow along, that's fine, but I do share screen. Also, check the link in the description for any additional resources, apps, websites, books that might be helpful to you. I'll always put those resources in the description. So let's get into it. Today we're actually going to look at nouns when they are concrete and when they're abstract and how we use those nouns. We also have a listening in today's class. In addition, we have a fill in the blank and we also have a multiple choice exercise too. So let's go. Okay, Unit 55, Abstract Ideas. So let's get right into it. Let's read our first opening paragraph. Most abstract nouns are uncountable. Some, however, can be either countable or uncountable, and the two forms often mean slightly different things. So that's our new language today, concrete and abstract nouns. Our vocabulary will be based on education systems, and our new skill talking about abstract ideas. So our first key language point, concrete and abstract nouns. So what do we mean by abstract? So abstract refer to ideas, events, concepts, feelings, and qualities that do not have a physical existence. So the opposite now is concrete nouns. They are things that you can experience through your senses. So anything that we can touch, hear, see, smell, taste, all of those things are real or concrete. Here's our first example sentence. He has a lot of books, but not much knowledge. So books, can we count it? Yes. And is it concrete? Yes. We can feel the book and we can count it. So we call that a countable concrete noun. And the opposite, abstract knowledge. Can you see knowledge? No. Can you use any of your senses with knowledge? No, it's abstract, and we can't count it. We can't say one knowledge, two knowledge, three knowledge. So if you're ever not sure if a noun is countable, then try to count it, and does it make sense? Okay, further examples for you. Concrete nouns. A teacher is real. Yes, I am real, teacher. A classroom is real. We can visit a classroom. We can see a classroom, paper, chair, exam, all those things are real. We can use our senses to see it, feel it, to touch it. And then on the opposite end is abstract nouns. Progress, freedom, truth, sadness, health. They're abstract. They're not real. We can't see it. We can't feel it. They're just ideas or feelings. Okay, let's move forward. So we have a list here of concrete nouns versus abstract nouns. So can you quickly put them into each category? You can pause it to see if you understand the idea. But let's go ahead and circle all of the concrete nouns. Let's mention all of them. And we're going to be left then with the abstract nouns. So which ones are concrete? Which ones can we feel and touch and see? Well, building is concrete. Artist is concrete, professor, library, photograph, sun, clock, and computer. So everything else would be something that's abstract because we can't see it, we can't feel it, we can't touch it. So let's move forward. Okay, our next key language point, countable and uncountable abstract nouns. So you might be thinking, well, Teacher Lisa, I just learned that abstract nouns, we can't really count them because you gave us the example of knowledge earlier, and I said you can't say one knowledge, two knowledge, three knowledge. But sometimes there are, of course, exceptions in the English language where we have a word that can be used, noun specifically, can be used as countable and uncountable. And therefore we can make them plural if they are countable. Right? My example with knowledge, abstract, uncountable, you can't say I have 2 knowledges, but with some of these nouns, we can do that. Well, let's look at our intro paragraph. I'm just going to read it. Some abstract nouns have both countable and uncountable forms. The forms have a slight difference in meaning. So take note of that difference in meaning. With the countable form being specific, again, the countable form being specific, and the uncountable form being more general. So we already understand how we can use these nouns. The countable, we use them when we want to be specific, uncountable for when we want to be more general. Let's give you some examples here. Let's look at the countable side. I've been there a few times. So each time is a specific occasion. We are using times here to mean occurrences, and so we can count that. So we can say a few times. Next one, he has had many successes. Successes are the specific achievements. So you can say, yes, I've had many successes in playing tennis. I have a lot of awards. I had 2 events that I won a trophy. So I had 2 successes. You can count that because we are using that to mean achievements, and we can have more than one. Next one, she has some great qualities. So qualities refer to features of her character. So you can say, I love these 2 qualities about her. I love that she's patient, right? Or I love that she's so ambitious. Those are qualities that we can count. Now let's go to the other side, uncountable. There's plenty of time left. So time here refers to the concept in general. We're not being specific, we're just talking about time in general. So it's uncountable. Next one, hard work leads to success. Success refers to achievement in general. So with the previous example on the other side, we said he has had many successes because we're using the word to mean achievements. But here, specific achievements, but here, the new sentence, hard work leads to success, we are talking about success in a general sense. We're saying hard work leads to success in general, but I'm not talking about something specific. If I was, we'd have to treat it like a countable noun. Next one, it has a reputation for quality. Quality refers to a high standard. So we're not saying 1 quality, 2 quality. We're using in a general sense. In the previous example, we use qualities to mean characteristics in someone's personality, for example. And so we can count that. So that's the difference. Same word, there's just a slightly different meaning in how we use it. Okay, we have our last 2 examples. Okay. We learned several new skills. So these are the particular abilities learned. So you can learn 1 skill, 2 skill. Someone might say, I'm learning to use AI. And I learned 2 skills today. I learned how to generate images. I learned how to generate text. So that's a specific skill. So we can count that. If we're talking in general, skill in general, it takes skill to do that job. Again, are we talking about a specific skill? No, just talking in general. So it's the general ability to do something. So hopefully you see the difference between the 2 type of nouns, even though it's the same word. Here's your chance to see if you understand this concept. So you have to cross out the incorrect word in each sentence. So which one is not correct? Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can get it correct, and then come back and we'll check the answers together. We have the first example. The top 4 racing drivers have very similar average speeds. So remember, when do we use plural? When can we count it? When we're being very specific. In this case, we are. When we're being very general, remember, it's uncountable. So that's what you want to use when you want to do each one. Okay, so come back and then let's check them. Okay, let's look at number 1. She was deep in thought, so we did not disturb her. Number 2, in college you can meet people from many different cultures, plural cultures. Okay. Number 3, My father formed many lasting friendships in college. Remember, we're being very specific about friendships. We're not using it in general. So the father can count friendships. That's why it's not used singular here. We're using as very specific that we can count. Number 4, the house is amazing. There are so many interesting spaces. Number 5, my brother does a lot of work for several local charities. Number 6, apparently this is the worst weather in living memory. In these difficult times, it's so important not to give up hope. So the last two, we're using memory and hope in general. And that's why it's not plural. We're not counting it. It's a feeling, something we can't touch or feel, and we're using it in a very general sense. Living memory. Whose memory? No one specifically, just general. Don't give up hope. Whose hope? Which hope? We're just talking in general. Okay, hopefully you got the idea. We're going to move forward. Okay, I'm going to ask you again to pause the video, read the text. These are the words that you need to fill in the blank. So it's working with words. It helps you to remember vocabulary when you do exercises like this. Work with the words in the target language. Even if you know them, can you put them in correctly into the sentence? And then how quickly can you do that? So we have skills, pride, education, success, course, abilities, years, and government. I'm going to read the text and then insert the correct word. You can also practice your pronunciation listening as I read. You can read with me and check that your pronunciation, your intonation, your stress is correct. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to read through the text now. All right. So the first one is done for us. Australians have a lot of pride in their system of education. Okay, let's pull it up and continue. The system in Australia is quite hard to describe because it is largely controlled by the states or territories rather than the federal government. Depending on where they live, students must go to school from 5 years old until 16 or 17 years old. There is also nursery level education, but this is not compulsory. After secondary school, students have a number of options to develop their abilities. They can choose to undertake vocational education and training, VET, by taking a course in a subject such as computer programming, engineering, or tourism, where they also learn key workplace skills. Alternatively, young people can apply to go into higher education or, of course, look for work. Generally, the system in Australia is recognized as being a success. So hopefully you got all of those correct. Let's move forward to our listening. So please pause the video. You can look at the answers ahead of time if you want, or just listen. So let's play the video or play the listening. Two people are discussing education systems in different parts of the world. So let's go to the recording now.
Did you read that article on the Australian education system?
Yes, I did. It seems quite similar to our system in England.
Oh? How long do students stay in school in England?
It depends. You have to stay in some sort of education until you're 18. It doesn't have to be full-time, so you can be training for work or doing an apprenticeship part-time too.
I see.
Your wife is from Finland, isn't she? They have a different education system there, don't they?
Yes, they have lots of continuous classroom-based assessment.
So there aren't national exams?
No, and students are also trained in self-assessment too.
I heard they don't have school inspections either.
No, they don't.
Wow, I know a few teachers who would be happy with a system like that.
Okay, so the first one is done for us. It's the example, the female speaker comes from England. That is true. Number 2, or number 1, the English system is similar to the Australian system. That is true. Number 2, in the UK, education is compulsory until the age of 19. That's false. Number 3, the male speaker comes from Finland. That's not given. We didn't have that information. Number 4, students in Finland take lots of exams. That is false. And our last one, Finnish schools are inspected every year. That is also false. So remember, what exactly did you hear? We have 5. If you missed 1, that's okay. Possibly even 2. But if you're missing more than that, you need to practice your listening. Go back and replay the video if you'd like to replay the audio. Okay, let's move forward. We're going right here to 56, vocabulary. So I'm not going to read every single sentence. We're just going to touch on a few of them. In green are the expressions we'd like you to know. So make arrangements, make a prediction, having good intentions, realize his dream. I want you to take note of how the words are put together. These are called collocations, meaning how a native would choose words, how we would combine words, what verbs, nouns we like, adjectives to, that we like to use together. So take note of that, the arrangement of the words. So what we'll do is I'll just pick one from each screen and then we'll go through them, okay? So here, let's go here to this one. There's no point having good intentions if you don't do anything. So when we say have good intentions, we like that those words together, means to have good or positive plans. Of course, you can make it negative where you don't have good intention. Right? He doesn't have good intentions, but it means something positive. The next one, hope for the best, had a big influence on, has had an impact on, a dream come true, only a matter of time, what the future holds. Okay, so let's look at this one here, has had an impact on. The internet has had an impact on how we communicate globally. So have an impact on something is to affect something powerfully. And again, we like those words together. Has had an impact on. Okay, let's go to the next page. This is our last set of vocabulary here. We have in the long run, the shape of things to come, digital age, the latest model, innovation, breakthrough. Okay. So let's look at, you've heard of digital age quite often now. We're living in the digital age, which is an era based on digital information when technology is dominant. So you probably heard that expression, digital age. So let's look at this one, the shape of things to come, the way things are likely to develop in the future. I really hope this isn't the shape of things to come. Of course, it's not literal, or you might have heard of how are things shaping up. It's just what is going to develop in the future. Okay, let's look at our last 4. We have revolution, state-of-the-art, cutting edge, future-proof. So we'll read all 4 of them this time. The internet has seen a revolution in communication. It's a huge change in ideas or methods. So when you use revolution, make sure that you want to have a strong meaning. State-of-the-art, we keep these words together, and you notice the hyphen in between each word, or the dash. And because we're taking that word and creating this phrase, state-of-the-art, it's the most modern and up-to-date. You can have, a state-of-the-art microwave, a state-of-the-art treadmill, a state-of-the-art, just the best in the industry. Cutting edge, that company is famous for its cutting-edge design. Cutting edge, again, you see the hyphen. We're taking cutting and edge and really creating a new word. Extremely modern and innovative. Like Open Chat GPT is cutting-edge technology. It's cutting edge. Let's look at our last one. We need to future-proof. Again, we see that hyphen. Future-proof the design, not just look at today's market. So future-proof, design something to work in the future, even if technology changes. And that can be very difficult to do. So it's a good example of future-proof something. So it's still relevant today, even in the future. still going to be relevant. You still want people to buy the product or offer that service. All right, see you in the next video. 57, future hopes. Remember to always check the links in the description for any resources or any programs that might help you with ESL. I'll put it in the link or any relevant videos. Take care. Thank you for watching.